guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited for this video because it is my updated note-taking video. Some of you guys have requested an updated one and I thought that this is the perfect time to do so. It's been almost a year since my last one. First off, I just want to say thank you so much for the love that you guys gave me in the last note-taking video. I was overwhelmed and overjoyed by the amount of feedback that I got. I have never experienced that before. So thank you so much for your sweet comments. It means so much to me. It just makes making videos a lot more worth it for me. So again, thank you so much. But before we do get into the video, I do have a couple of other disclaimers to make. This is how I take my notes and how I rewrite my notes, and what helped me might not help you. You don't need a bunch of crazy supplies to take good notes. All you really need is a pen, pencil, and some paper. But what really makes good notes is how you organize it. My notes do not look like this during class. My notes during class look like scribbles and it's horrible. But I do rewrite my notes, and that is what I'm showing you guys today. Rewriting my notes is a huge form of studying for me. Not only am I going through the information again, but having organized notes, it's a lot easier to study off of than the scribble notes that you guys took during class. Hopefully you guys will enjoy this video, and let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you need is some paper, and if you watched my first note-taking video, you would know that I don't like to take notes on lined paper. I actually found a notebook with just blank paper, and the quality of it is exactly like printer paper, which is perfect because that's exactly what I like to write on. The next thing you need is the main writing tool, and I like to write all my notes in pen. This pen is the Pilot Juice pen, and it is my current favorite pen. I also use two different highlighters and a colored pen. Since I like to color code my notes, I like to have my pen and one of my highlighters to match. And for my secondary highlighter, I'm using a gray highlighter because it's a very neutral color. I don't like to use a bunch of colors since it kind of throws me off sometimes, so I try to keep it within a color scheme. Next, I also use a protractor to make lines in my notes. I also like to have matching colored sticky notes, and since I do write in pen, correction tape is a necessity. I'm going to start off by making an outline of how I write my notes so that it's a little bit easier for me to explain to you guys. I always start off with the title. I think the title is a super important part of your notes. I do like my titles and headers to really stand out from the note so that I know exactly what the information is about. I start off by writing my title with my gray highlighter. And to make it stand out more, I'm going to take my black pen and add little details to it. Right underneath the title towards the right corner, I'm going to write general information about my notes. For example, this is where you would write the unit, lecture, chapter, or date, any kind of information like that. Once that's done, I'm going to take my protractor and create a line right underneath the title using the fine tip of my colored highlighter. I like to have that separation between the title and the notes. Now finally, on to the actual note-taking part. I start off by writing my main topic in cursive, and I also add little details to it to make it kind of stand out since it is a subheader. Then I'll highlight it with my gray highlighter. I like the use of arrows to indicate what information is falling under what topic. I always write my notes in a list form. I never write it in a paragraph form because that's way too much information to read through. Writing it out in a list really condenses the information, and it's a lot easier on the eyes as well. I always start off with bullet points, and if any information falls under just that bullet point, I use hyphens. Now, any information like words or dates that I really want to stand out from my notes, I would write it in my colored pen. And any specific terms that I define, I will highlight it with my gray highlighter. Any subtopics that fall under the main topic, I will write it out and highlight it in blue. Since I like to write my notes by listing out information, I also really like the use of numbers for any information that could be written numerically. Now, if there is a mini topic that falls under just the subtopic, I would write it out in my blue pen and then box around it. If I have a list of terms that I need to define, I'm going to write that out on my post-it. So I will define all the terms on my sticky note and then highlight just the terms with my gray highlighter. The main reason why I enjoy using plain paper is because of the freedom I get. I'm a visual learner, so I really like to have diagrams and pictures in my notes. So I would usually draw out my diagram and I would create a box around it. I actually like to name my diagrams just in case if I ever need to reference back to it. I would just write out the name of it and I could easily look for it. For example, if these notes were from Unit 4, Lecture 2, I will name it Figure 4.2-1 since this is my first diagram. This is mainly because sometimes I don't draw the diagram right away or right where the information is, so when I do write the information, I would write out the figure number and just reference to it whenever I'm going through my notes. Now, if I'm talking about a new main topic, I would do the same exact thing and go over the same process again. Once I finish writing my notes, to make it a bit easier to understand and a lot more organized, I like to make lines to separate out sections in my notes. For my main topic, I use black to make the line, and for my subtopics, I use blue. Whenever I'm going through my notes and I hit a black line, in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm on to the next main topic now. And if I hit a blue line, I will know that I'm still under the same main topic that I was originally reading about. But that's basically it for the outline. This will all look a lot better once I show you guys my actual notes. But this outline is really good to have something to go off of so that your notes are always cohesive. So this is what my notes look like right after class. I use regular line paper because I don't really care what kind of paper I write on. I'm going to rewrite it anyways. As you can see, this is not organized at all, and if I were to study off of this, I would probably go crazy because it just looks like a bunch of words to me. But I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite this going off that outline that we created earlier, and I'll show you guys the process of how I exactly rewrite my notes. So here's the before and after of my notes. Compared to before, it is way more organized now, and this is way easier to read and study off of than what we were dealing with before. But that's basically it to how I write my notes. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you liked and enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to leave your comments and questions down below, and I'll try my best to get back to you. Good luck studying, and I'll see you guys in my next video.